princesses! Today I'm going to be talking about the Bbia Last Contouring Sticks. Or I don't know if they're actually called sticks, it just says Last Contouring, but honestly I can't say Last Contouring without putting something at the end of it. But these are liquid contours from Bbia. I tried out their powder contours, the really famous one. I think it's called Peanut Blossom. It's one of the nuts. I don't think it's almond and I don't think it's macadamia. I'm pretty sure it's peanut, and I really liked it. And so I decided that I would like to try out the liquid versions as well. They come in two shades. There is number 2, which is the darker color, and then number 1, which is this beautiful light color here. I really liked how little they were, although when I got them I was like, these are much smaller than I thought they were going to be. Like, they are little. This is like smaller than most concealers. And it's supposed to be a contour, but I wanted to try them out. I have never seen anybody talk about these, or it's not a popular product, I guess, but I have seen a lot of people talk about the powder blush. So I love a good liquid product and I hate traffic noises, so I decided to give these ones a go. What a long intro. So the product description says, boasting a lightweight texture and natural colors, Bbia's Last Contouring has a buildable coverage that can be blended with other makeup products to match your own skin tone. The packaging of these products is very simple. It's basically just a little tube that comes with a doe foot applicator, and that's how you apply the product. It's like a tiny little concealer, and when I mean small, like I mean I've got very small hands. Well, I mean it depends on who you compare it to. I've got small hands. I can barely reach an octave on the piano. They're little. This is very little. And I was looking for the mils. It's 5 grams. 5 grams worth of product. And I bought mine on YesStyle, which was the cheapest place I could find them for at the time. And they cost $7.61 US dollars, and that's with my gold member discount. It's expensive for a little contour, and it's not going to last you long. I'll just say that. I don't know why I'm saying this now. This should be at the end. Watch me apply it. So I'm going to start with the number 1, which is Milk Tea Brown, and I'm going to do a little stripe on this cheek here, and then this one as well. This one I'm not going to show you so much on this side because I do have a birthmark. I just did the swatches for the other colour, so I'm not going to harp on about it. You'll hear me talk about it in just a couple of minutes when I do the other colour. Same with how I blend these out. Because I did the darker colour first, because I'll be wearing this one throughout the day, I tend to talk more in the first application that I actually physically do, rather than what's going to happen first. So it's going to be a bit backwards, but that's okay. I think that the Milk Tea Brown is a lot more day-to-day wearable for me than the Coffee Brown is, although when I tried it just then I really liked it. So there's that. So this is what it looks like with one layer. It's like barely noticeable. It's so subtle, it's ridiculous, which I really love. Do you know how hard it is for lighter skin to get like a really easy to use contour? I'm sure the problem also exists with the very deep skin tones as well. It's a problem for everybody, just to find something that actually works. But the search is finally over. I'm going to do a secondary layer, and I'm just going to do just a tiny touch like that, and then on this side as well. There's not much point doing it on this side because see how it really doesn't. It's like this, a similar color to my birthmark, but because this one is the cool toned, it's not a cool tone birthmark, it's a warm tone birthmark. My birthmark is a Cafe au lait birthmark. It will not go away, unfortunately. I have had laser surgery on it before, multiple times, and it just came back. So unless I'm gonna have surgery to cut it out, I'm stuck with it. And I honestly don't mind, but I don't enjoy the comments that are gonna be like, you didn't blend in your contour properly, or you didn't blend in your foundation. It's a totally different color to the rest of my body. We could all just use a little bit of logic. A little bit of logic. This is not my natural skin tone. The entire rest of my body that matches is my natural skin tone. The amount of people that think that I've put a really pale foundation over my entire body and somehow missed just this one part of my face. I don't get it, but that's okay. So this is what that looks like. This is the lighter color, the Milk Tea Brown. I just really like how much shape it can give my face without looking like a contour. It's foolproof. It is the perfect shade if you are, so I would normally be NC5 in a MAC foundation. I'm pretty tan at the moment though, for me, like very tan. I go very like olivey kind of colored. It's been a summer where I go to the beach so I have changed skin color a bit, but my face has stayed pretty pale, which is nice, and my chest, which is pretty good. So normally it would be NC10, maybe NC5 in the winter, probably NC10 more in the summer. And if you are much deeper than that, maybe like NC15, marginal, NC20 I think is going to be too light for you. So it's a pro and a con. It's great for me, but it's probably not that great for everybody else, and that's unfortunate. I really, really wish they would expand the shade range to cover more bases there, because it is just such a good product. I can't tell you how much I love how this product works and how sad I am that not everybody can use it. So the coffee brown I'm going to show you on this side of my face, just because this side has a birthmark. I would normally contour that side, and I will do that. I have done that with milk tea, but this one, just because it's a similar color, you won't see it because it cuts down through here. So I'm only going to show you this one on this side. If you're wondering why that is, it's because I'm actually doing this one first, because I'm going to leave milk tea on because it's a bit more of a day-to-day wearable shade. Too much hair. So I'm going to just lightly pop that one down through here. I'm going to use just a small amount to start with, even though it is a fairly light product. And I'm actually going to use a cushion puff to blend it in. I'm going to make like a little taco shape with the cushion puff like that. This one is a bit smaller, so and I can fit 2 fingers in, so I can do that with my fingers there. And so I'm going to lay it sideways here and then pat in like that. Just going up and down slightly to make sure that everything is blended out like that. And that is what it looks like. So it blends in super, super thoroughly. So it didn't take long. It's almost like foolproof even with the darker shade. That one, I don't like it quite as much because it is quite warm. So normally if I was contouring my full face, I would do the cheekbones, I would do the chin, and I would also do a little bit on my nose. But I wouldn't use number 2 coffee brown on my nose because it's so warm. It's more like orange. I'm actually just going to put just a little bit more on to build it up as well. This time I'm not dragging it as far down my cheek as I did before, and this is just because it'll make it blend out a little bit easier because I'm still pretty lazy with my contouring. I'm actually doing this over the top of old cushion and powder, and it still works seamlessly. Like, have I told you guys already in this review how much I love how easy these are to use? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. If you are a beginner and you are fair skin, please get these. Unfortunately, they don't make anything darker than this. But how lovely does that look? Actually, maybe I will keep all of them. Oh, it just looks so good. So this is number 2 coffee brown. We can see a difference with no contour. This is just a little subtle moment there. So like I was talking about before, these are unusually small. It's only 5 grams and it is relatively expensive for the size that you are getting. If you want something that's going to last you a long time, the powder is actually going to last a lot longer. There is more in the pan size, and I think you would probably need to use a little bit less of it. I find that these ones, they are so lightweight, which is lovely, don't get me wrong, but you do need to layer them up a little bit. You can blend them with, like, you could use a concealer to mix this with, like it says in the product description, and you could make a different color and things like that. But I feel like if I was to use these consistently, maybe like a month, if I was using like 5 days a week for 4 weeks, I reckon I'd use that up in about a month. It's just unrealistically small, I think. It's nice, don't get me wrong, because there are good things about it. Oh, the grams are written on the bottom. So let's think about the pluses. Okay, so the plus for me is the size, for starters, because for me, I do not contour every day. If I was going away and I wanted to take something to contour with, so like I'm going up to Auckland for the night and we're going to go out and I want to look more contoured than usual, this would be great because it's so small, it's not going to take up much room, easy to use. I think that the colors are really nice. I'm not the biggest fan of coffee brown. I think it's a bit too dark. I could mix it with a concealer. It's a bit more warm toned, but I really, really like number 1, which is Milk Sea Brown. Works really, really well on my fairer skin. If you are a deeper skin tone, I don't think this is going to work because it is very light. Yes, you can build it up, but I wouldn't want to be building it up too much either. I found that they were really easy to use, and as long as you start with a smaller amount of product and then, you know, move it around to where you need it to, you really can't go wrong with this, which is really nice for a contour because it's one of the, I don't think it's one of the hardest things to do for makeup, but it is harder than, you know, putting on a foundation and things like that. If you put it in the wrong place, you're going to make the shadows appear in a strange place on your face and your face is going to look weird. So then we come to the less good or the bad things. There's only 2 shades. The darkest shade number 2, which is the coffee brown, it is not that dark. It's not going to service that many different skin tones for people. You really need to be fair to fair tan, maybe like a little bit of a medium skin tone, but really realistically, this 2 shades, that needs to be more, especially in this day and age, might I say. And then the other thing is the size. For most people, like I said before, if you're going to be using this on a day-to-day basis, because it is a light natural look, it's more made for day-to-day, right? You're going to go through it so quickly, and for what it is, you know, for how big it is, 5 grams, I think that the $7 US is quite expensive. It's not the end of the world, and it's not that expensive in comparison to a lot of other products, especially if you look at Western products for contours and things. But just for the size, there are plenty of other contour products out there that are much bigger, double the size, for maybe like $1 or $2 more. So comparatively, it is more expensive gram to gram, and I think that if you were using these consistently, if you're using like 6 of them a year or something, it's wasteful in terms of the packaging as well. So it would be easy to make something that's slightly bigger than have to make multiples of the same little thing. So you can see there are pluses, especially for me personally for this. I will not use this up probably ever, and then there are minuses for people who are going to be using a contour in the day-to-day life. So it depends entirely on what you guys are wanting to use this for. If you think that this is a good use case for you, then I would highly recommend it because I really enjoy using them. But if you feel like you're going to use this up in like a month or so, I wouldn't recommend it purely based on the fact that it's going to be costly and not good for the environment. So I hope that makes sense. But I do like them. I think I'm probably going to keep number 1, which is the milk tea brown, but I don't think I'm going to keep number 2, which is coffee brown, because I just don't need both of them. So thank you guys so much for watching this review, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!